Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're unpacking a role that, well, it sounds simple enough, product management, but really it's become this essential strategic linchpin for pretty much any successful modern business.
Absolutely. If you've ever wondered, what really makes the difference between a product that takes off and one that just fizzles out, chances are you're looking right at the PM role.
Right. So our mission today is to cut through the jargon, give you a clear strategic look at what product management actually is, why it matters so much for the bottom line, and yeah, what makes this often highly paid role so crucial.
And we should probably start with the big number, the one that really grabs your attention.
Let's do it. The aha moment, straight up. Industry analysis consistently shows that companies nailing their product management process see an average profit jump of over 34%.
Yeah, 34.2% is a figure you see cited. And that's not just like a minor tweak.
Uh-huh.
That's serious growth.
It's huge, driven purely by getting this strategic function right.
Exactly. So put simply, product management is that whole strategic process,
Mhm.
guiding a product through its entire life. From the first glimmer of an idea, market validation, development, launch, and then constantly tweaking it, optimizing it.
So it's the bridge.
It's the ultimate bridge, really. Making sure actual customer needs are met, but in a way that, fits the company's bigger picture, its business goals.
Okay, let's unpack the role itself a bit more because, for someone maybe less familiar, it could sound a bit like fancy admin work, right?
Oh.
How do PMs actually justify that potential 34% profit lift, especially when you've already got project managers handling the day-to-day?
Ah, that's such a crucial distinction. And yeah, they both sound similar, both vital, but they're looking at totally different things. Project management is all about outputs.
Outputs.
Yeah, their job is operational. Did we hit the deadline? Did we stay on budget? Did the thing get built? Check, check, check.
Got it.
Right.
Timelines, tasks, delivery.
Product management, though, they're laser focused on outcomes. Value creation, is it viable? Is it feasible? They're not just asking, was the feature delivered on time?
They're asking.
They're obsessed with, did this feature actually create a positive result? Do customers love it? Are they willing to pay for it? It's not just making sure the thing is built, it's making sure it's the right thing to build for this market right now.
Okay, so taking that classic software example, the PM isn't just checking with the design team about the UX. They're the ones connecting the dots, right? Linking UX, engineering, the business leads, all back to the core product vision.
Precisely. They're making sure that what gets built actually moves the needle on business value. They're like the chief steward of value for that product.
Which means they have to cover that whole life cycle you mentioned, from the very beginning to, well, potentially the end.
Conception to maturity, yeah. And their core activities reflect that breadth. It's deep market research, crafting the actual product strategy, ruthless feature prioritization, that's a big one, managing all the team collaboration, and then constantly analyzing performance after launch.
It sounds like they're constantly shifting gears. We hear that analogy about PMs wearing multiple hats, but honestly, that feels like an understatement sometimes.
It really is.
Yeah.
They have to be a strategist one minute and analyst the next, deeply empathetic to users, and then turn around and be a fierce advocate for the product internally.
And that tension right there, balancing what customers say they want, what the business needs financially, and what engineering can actually build, that's got to be why the job is so demanding.
It absolutely is. And you see it in their core tasks. First, the foundation, understanding customers. And this isn't just, passively listening to feedback.
You're active.
Much more. It's proactive market research, digging for insights with surveys, in-depth interviews, analyzing usage data, really trying to pinpoint those customer pain points and preferences. Sometimes finding problems the customer can't even articulate yet. The whole point is solving a real problem.
Solving real problems and then plotting a course to actually do it. That's the strategy and roadmaps piece, right?
Yeah.
The big picture planning.
Exactly. They create those high-level plans outlining the vision, the measurable goals, the timelines, the key milestones. And it's always this delicate balancing act, juggling immediate market opportunities with the company's longer-term strategic aims.
Okay, strategy set. Then comes making it happen, which needs that heavy cross-functional collaboration. You call them orchestra conductors.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. They're coordinating engineering, design, marketing, sales. Everyone needed to bring the product to life. And it's
Right.
not just about meetings and emails. It's about ensuring everyone's aligned, resources are used efficiently. This is where, the tools really come into play.
Like Jira for tasks, maybe analytics tools for usage tracking.
For sure. They live in tools like Jira for managing the backlog and tracking progress. And analytics platforms are critical for understanding what's actually happening with the product. That feeds right into the next huge responsibility: prioritization and lifecycle management.
Being ruthless, you said.
They have to be. Deciding what gets built now, what waits, what maybe gets cut entirely. Prioritizing features based on potential value, the cost to build it, the likely market impact. Often they're working in cycles using Agile or Scrum methodology.
And after launch, it doesn't stop there.
Oh no, then it shifts again.
Yeah.
Monitoring performance. Constantly digging into metrics, user engagement, churn rates, revenue per user, whatever's relevant to figure out how to optimize, how to improve it continuously.
Wow. That's a complex skill set, highly valued, clearly. Given that complexity and the potential impact, it's probably no shock we saw salary ranges in our research hitting, what, $115,000, easily going over $200,000 a year, depending on specialization too, like technical PMs or growth PMs.
Exactly. And that compensation reflects the strategic weight they carry. In bigger companies, you'll often find a chief product officer, a CPO, overseeing the entire product function, making sure it all aligns right up to the CEO's vision for the company.
Okay, let's use that CPO perspective to talk more about the strategic power here, because if they're paid that well, it's not just about managing a product, it's about managing the organization's dynamics, right? Being that indispensable bridge between departments.
That is the absolute core of their importance, and is how they prevent those really damaging internal silos. They're essentially translators. They facilitate clear communication between, say, the tech teams who speak one language, the business leaders who speak another, and the customer-facing teams like sales and support who hear things directly from the market.
And that translation resolves conflicts.
It has to. Think about a classic clash we see all the time. Maybe the CFO needs to cut resources by 20% next quarter for profitability targets.
Okay.
But engineering is pushing hard to tackle a big chunk of technical debt, like refactoring old code. It offers zero immediate customer benefit, but it's critical for future development speed.
Ah, the invisible but necessary work.
Right. The PM has to step into that gap. They need to translate the technical need into tangible business value. They might say, okay, if we don't invest X amount in tackling 50% of this tech debt now, our time to market for future Y, which we're counting on for $2 million in revenue next year, will likely triple. Is that a risk we want to take?
So they frame the trade-off with data.
Exactly. They provide the context and the data needed for the executives to make an informed decision, balancing short-term financials with long-term product health.
That focus on integrated decisions, it must be what enables real customer-centric innovation, right? Moving from just reacting to leading the market.
Absolutely. Because PMs are deliberately putting the customer, their needs, their pain points, even those unarticulated needs, right at the very center of the development process. That constant focus is what sparks the kind of innovation that truly differentiates a product.
Like finding ways to make B2B software integrations totally seamless, or using AI to anticipate what a user might need next.
Precisely. Features that don't just add bells and whistles, but deliver genuine, sometimes unexpected value. And the tools they use for strategic planning are key to making this efficient. Roadmaps, for instance, aren't just lists.
Or more than that.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
they're critical communication tools. A good roadmap clearly shows how the product initiatives connect back to both customer goals and company objectives. That's how the PM builds buy-in across the organization and maintains trust.
And they use specific techniques for prioritizing, you mentioned, to make sure they're getting the best bang for the buck with limited resources.
Yes, definitely. We saw a couple mentioned that are pretty standard: Moscow analysis and conjoint analysis. They sound a bit academic, maybe.
Yeah, Moscow conjoint. Break those down a bit. Why are they useful?
Okay, Moscow is actually pretty straightforward. It stands for must have, should have, could have, and won't have this time around. It's basically a structured way to negotiate scope with stakeholders.
Ah, so it forces choices.
It forces everyone to agree on what's absolutely essential versus what's nice to have. Since scope creep keeps things focused.
And conjoint analysis, that sounds more complex.
It's a bit more sophisticated, yeah. It's a market research technique PMs use to figure out what combination of features or price points customers truly value when they can't have everything. Like, would customers prefer feature X if it adds $5 to the cost? Or would they actually rather we scrap feature X entirely and lower the price by $3?
So it quantifies the trade-offs before you build anything?
Exactly. It gives you data on how customers weigh different attributes against each other. Incredibly valuable for making strategic bets.
And that data-driven approach continues after launch with the continuous improvement and metrics focus.
Constantly. They're using things like A/B testing, diving deep into analytics platforms, running customer surveys, always looking for ways to refine the product. And crucially, they have to be smart about which metrics they track.
Distinguishing real metrics from vanity metrics.
Yes, it's so easy to get excited about a temporary spike in users after a marketing campaign that's often a vanity metric. A good PM focuses on the metrics that show sustainable value and profitability. Things like long-term customer retention, average revenue per user, maybe task completion rates, things that show the product is genuinely working for people over time.
Okay, let's really connect this now directly to the bottom line. How does all this strategy and process translate into real-world business success or failure?
Well, PMs are fundamentally the ones defining what success even looks like for the product. They set the key performance indicators, the KPIs, that explicitly link the product's performance to the company's bigger goals: market share, profitability, customer lifetime value.
They're like the voice of the product owner within the business.
In many ways, yes. They have to navigate all the stakeholder interests,
Okay.
protect the product vision, and steer clear of common pitfalls like building features nobody asked for, or over-engineering something, or completely missing the mark on what the market actually needs.
And when that goes wrong, the consequences can be catastrophic.
Yeah.
Our sources pointed to some big examples, didn't they? Nokia and BlackBerry came up.
Yeah, their stories are almost textbook examples of product management failures, sadly.
Yeah.
It wasn't that their technology was bad, far from it.
So what was the failure?
It was a product strategy failure,
Yeah.
a fundamental misread of where the market was heading. They clung too tightly to their existing hardware-centric approach, focusing on iterating physical keyboards or phone designs, while the entire market was shifting under their feet toward software, towards apps, towards touchscreens.
They missed the ecosystem play that Apple nailed.
They completely missed the importance of the app ecosystem. It was an unarticulated need at first, perhaps the desire for a flexible, powerful software platform in your pocket. They failed to adapt their product strategy, and, well, we know what happened. It cost them dominance, cost them basically everything in that market.
A very stark warning.
It really is. But on the flip side, strong PM leadership drives incredible success. Think about Apple again with the iPhone. It wasn't just great hardware. It was brilliant product management, balancing innovation, user experience, and a long-term market strategy around that ecosystem. That drove insane profitability for years.
And even today, we see successes rooted in this adaptability, like Tesla's approach to software updates.
Perfect example. Tesla's PMs leverage user data constantly. Their ability to push over-the-air software updates means the car you buy actually gets better over time. That enhances satisfaction, keeps them competitive, and delivers value long after the initial sale. It's smart lifecycle management.
So in this world we're in now, fierce global competition, constant pressure on pricing, customers who aren't always great at explaining what they really want, it becomes crystal clear why good PMs are, as they say, worth their weight in gold.
Absolutely. They are the navigators through that complexity. They prevent those huge, costly product mistakes and maximize the chance of delivering real, sustainable value. They're often the difference between a company that builds what it thinks is cool and one that builds what the world actually needs and will pay for.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. To summarize our deep dive today, product management isn't just a role, it's this indispensable strategic function. It bridges the critical gaps between technical teams, business goals, and customer needs. It drives innovation that's truly customer-centric, using data and smart trade-offs, and ultimately, it aligns products tightly with sustainable business growth.
Well said. And to do that work effectively, PMs really integrate a set of essential tools into their daily rhythm. Platforms like Jira for managing the workflow, specialized roadmap portals to communicate strategy and get buy-in, powerful analytics tools for A/B testing and understanding behavior, and often survey tools like Question Pro to maintain those continuous feedback loops with users.
Excellent overview. Okay, now for that final thought for you, our listener, to maybe chew on. If we agree that PM success hinges on tackling those deep, often unarticulated user needs, and constantly adapting to big tech shifts like the smartphone shift that caught Nokia out, then here's the question for you. What emerging technology or what critical, unspoken customer pain point might be getting ignored right now in your industry? And think about how a really strong product manager could potentially spot that overlooked need and transform it into the next game-changing, profitable product that could revolutionize your market.
Yeah, that's something definitely worth thinking about as you look at your own strategic direction.
Absolutely. Thanks for diving deep with us today. We'll catch you next time.
If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and share it, with others who might benefit too. To learn more about product management and digital marketing, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update.